noticed so many celebrities now just look off? And I'm not even talking about aging, because why are so many of them looking absolutely drained? And don't tell me it's about the makeup or the surgery. I'm talking about what you can still see under all of that. Because I genuinely think it's about people's frequency rising. People are becoming more aware and more sensitive. We are starting to notice the things that we used to completely overlook. Just think about how for years we were constantly consuming these people. Their music, their drama, their relationships, their scandals. We were giving them our attention all day. And people don't realize that attention is energy and that energy has value. I think there's a reason why so many people are saying they don't care about celebrities anymore, because it literally feels draining. And maybe that's why the illusion is getting harder to maintain. Everything is designed to keep you consuming, and celebrity culture is a big part of that. You can watch a celebrity and not be able to put your finger on it, but something in you is just like, this whole thing feels off. And I think when your frequency rises, you become more sensitive to that. You start realizing how much of your attention and energy you were giving away. And once you start becoming aware of where your energy is going, you become a lot more careful about where you give it to. And maybe that's why so many people are starting to look at celebrities differently. Because once you stop idolizing them, you start seeing them.
There's some weird cloud formations, man. It's literally shaped like a UFO.
What if reality is not real? What if everything you see, touch, feel is a sophisticated simulation? And the evidence has been sitting in ancient texts for thousands of years. Pure mathematics, all pointing to the same conclusion. None of this is real, and someone designed it. Follow for more.
Does anyone else find this strange? Who is this right here? There is no way that this is the same person. Who is this? Something weird is going on, you all. What is happening anymore with these celebrities? Seriously, there is no way this is Usher, right? First we had Lil Wayne looking different. Now we have Usher looking different. What is really going on with these celebrities anymore? Why are all of these celebrities looking different? Now I get it. He has shades on, right? But this still doesn't look like the same person to me.
Nope.
This person looks almost plastic in a way. I can't really explain it, but something seems off, especially with the way that he's dancing and everything else. Something just seems off about all of this. And I know I can't be the only one out there wondering what exactly is going on here, because again, this doesn't look like Usher to me. I'm unsure who this is, but I really don't think that this is Usher. What do you think about this?
So we've all seen this video where the Tesla's driving through the cemetery and there's people showing up on the display, but there's actually no one there.
No way. All right, we got to try this. It's close to Halloween. Let's give it a shot, bro.
Let's go, let's go. All right, so we just pulled into the cemetery. It looks like there's a person standing. What? Oh, no way. Dude, there's nothing around us right now. Oh, what? It looks like there's a person right there. But there's nothing. What the heck, dude? Okay, I'm officially creeped out. It's gone now. Oh, nope, it's back. What is happening?
Hey, that was creepy, bro. I'm thoroughly creeped out. We should leave now.
So apparently hide-behinds have made their way out of Appalachia, and they're in cities now. I don't know if y'all have seen this viral video, but this is a hide-behind. There are these weird creatures in Appalachia that'll hide behind trees and lure people to them so they can snatch them up. And these things have been documented throughout America's history. Native Americans talked about them. They're one of those reasons you don't whistle in the woods at night. Lumberjacks from the early settlers used to see them, and now they're hiding behind telephone poles in the city. Because that's for sure what that is. They're said to move like shadows. They're tall and lanky. They have long, slender fingers, long, slender arms, for obvious reasons, so they can hide behind trees and stuff. Usually you can only see their arms and hands. Nobody's really actually seen their full bodies because they hide behind things. And this thing just fits the description. So yeah, they're making it out of the woods and into the city. What would you do if you saw something like this walking home? Let me know.
If I saw something like that, turn around, walking the other way. As simple as that, bro. No investigating it, no nothing, man. That's my answer, bro. Whoa.
This is crazy, y'all. It's getting insane. This is not a frog, and this is not science fiction anymore. This looks like something straight out of the Venom movie, but it's actually a real magnetic slime robot that's been developed by researchers at the Chinese University of Hong Kong. It's been inspired by the shape-shifting symbiote from the Venom film, and the team has engineered a soft robotic material by combining neodymium magnet particles and polyvinyl alcohol along with borax. And the result is this programmable magnetic slime that can be guided remotely using external magnetic fields. Unlike traditional robots, this living gel, which is like a machine, it can squeeze through openings that are as small as like 1.5 millimeters, morph its shape to wrap around objects and grab them, and even repair itself after being damaged or cut. Once healed, it can stretch to nearly 9 times its original length, and it also conducts electricity, allowing it to reconnect broken circuits after being separated. Perhaps this is the most remarkable proposed application in medicine. Researchers envisioned the magnetic slime robot navigating through the human body to retrieve accidentally swallowed objects, bypassing surgery.
My boy just told me that the guy that he cut was not human. Whoa. I told him, what do you mean he's not human? He said that he didn't feel like he was human. He felt, and he said he nicked him on accident on the back of his neck, and he didn't even bleed. And he said that his body temperature was cold. And that's weird. You know, I have you guys ever experienced that? Because, dude, honestly, I would shit bricks. Like bricks, like logs. Logs will be coming out, you know? I don't understand. I've never had an experience like that with a supernatural encounter being a barber, but sometimes, you know, you do stay by yourself. You know what I'm saying? You lock up the shop by yourself. You're doing stuff by yourself. You open the shop by yourself, and, you know, it can be dangerous. Stay safe. Let me know your experiences.
Imagine you a barber, bro. You lining somebody up. Like you say, you nick somebody, bro. Not bleeding and doing nothing, no reaction. First thought, bro, I'm lining up. I'm giving a shape up to an alien, bro. Beat them up, man. Bro. Imagine, I mean, they say that they are among us, bro, so I guess that we have to get a haircut to keep up appearances.
Myers was held captive for 23 years inside of this Cat in the Hat costume and kept inside of a glass box against his will. He went crazy, he escaped, and now they're auctioning it off, according to this creator. I'm also not convinced that that is the mask that was worn by Mike. So if you live inside of a box and you haven't heard yet, they're auctioning off a Cat in the Hat costume. They claim it was worn by Mike. It has grime on the face as well as matted fur, which isn't crazy because it's partially made from human hair. Here are 3 people brushing him. So that creator has been posting about a conspiracy theory, and I really cannot tell if he's trolling or not, but the comments are definitely not trolling. And people think that Mike Myers, or possibly somebody else, has been held captive inside of this suit. Some people think they have like a tube feeding him and that he just has no choice and he's stuck inside. People who have been to the museum have claimed that his eyes will follow you, and then once he realizes you're looking back at him, that the eyes will just go straight back. People have pointed out how just realistic it looks. It doesn't look fake, like a prop. It looks super real. People are also asking, why the glass box? Why don't they just have a rope? Oh, it's to trap him in there. I love a good conspiracy theory. However, I am not convinced. I'm also unsure what the mask that they're auctioning was actually used for.
I caught the fucker on video. You're looking at a literal demon, a previously unidentified type of life that is both natural and synthetic. Depends on how you look at the situation. Now, I think the most important thing to do literally for everyone's health is to stay calm. I think these little fuckers in different forms have been sitting on top of our heads, using us like ratatouille to cook ourselves, farm ourselves. The medical community has their minds controlled by the thing. That's why they can't see it. I've been kicked out of several emergency rooms, like in the weirdest ways. I've been unable to get medical treatment in the weirdest ways as a straight, white, successful 36-year-old veteran, college educated. I can't imagine. I only bring it up because I can't imagine what it's like for other people out there. So we have to put pressure on the insurance companies, on the medical institutions. Like, we can't accept these answers that we're being given. It's garbage, and it's literal garbage in our bodies, pulling up Morgellons, all this. It's like an algae, like a petroleum jellyfish. Get in the sun, sweat, listen to your body. You can't just attack this thing. You've got to wean down all these different...
This video is something you should not be looking at. This is leaked footage of a secret government lab where they doing animal hybrids. Like, look at these animals in these cages. Look at this. Like, what is this? Like, you can clearly see in this leaked footage that they are coming out with all types of animals. Like, look at this. Why they are creating these hybrids, I have no idea. But you can't tell me this ain't strange right here.
This has to be cap, right?
Nobody knows why they are doing these type of experiments. Maybe they're just testing how it is when you cross two different species together. I don't know, but look at this. These animals are moving. It look like they're doing good. The government definitely is good at what they do.
Breaking news, a 7.7 earthquake has hit Indonesia, 10 kilometers deep. That is shallow. Shallow earthquakes cause the most damage because that shaking is near the surface. It hit the ocean near Flores Island. This is the 5th big earthquake since June. 6 quakes in total because Venezuela had 2. Japan almost joined the 7 club with a 6.9. So we've had 6 magnitude 7s in 10 weeks. I counted every big quake since 1990. The Earth has about 15 7s each year. We've had 6 in 10 weeks. That has happened 28 times since 1990, about every 15 months. Then I went back to 1900. By the middle of August, around now, a normal year has had about 8. This year, we've had 11 so far. Only 16 times since 1900 has that happened. So yes, we've been busy, but not super strange. But what is strange is the last shallow quake. Today's Indonesia quake, it's still early. There are no fatality counts in. We know that 56,000 people felt severe shaking and over 1 million felt strong shaking. By the way, a post is already circulating saying the Indonesia epicenter was the antipode of the Venezuela quakes. That means the exact opposite point on the other side of the world. It's actually incorrect. Kind of a similar region, but here's what that looks like. This is obviously an evolving situation. I hope everyone is safe, as always, and I'll see you in the comments. Take care.
She's saying, man, we're going way above our average, bro, with these quakes. Like, the numbers keep doubling every single year, man. It's not a good sign, Seekers.
Language expert at this point. And if you were to watch the body language of all of these boys being on the Officer Tatum show as of recently, especially Warren and especially Jax, you would notice a lot of giveaways. If you were to go watch that video, the first thing that should stick out to everybody is when Warren decided to bump his knee against Jax. Specifically, when Jax was asking, why aren't we in jail yet? We're not geniuses. Alongside the obvious hand shrugs that Jax kept making if you were to watch that video as well. Most importantly, how they worded things, especially Jax talking about Wyatt being on the phone with Cito. He said, don't you think that you would have seen Nolan on the bottom of the boat, on the floor, something, but then he started to stutter, right? when talking about them hypothetically looking down at him. That's when Warren started to bump his knee against Jax, and Jax all of a sudden switched up and started to defer away from his initial comment. Then the immediate deep sighs from Jax when asking the question once again, why aren't we in jail yet? We aren't geniuses. That to me is a huge giveaway, and I feel like Mr. Warren is going to break very soon. Something like that would eat anybody alive for the rest of their life.
This is just too funny. This lady is here. And then there she is again. and this man is here. Where is he? He's here. And then he's here as well. Though my favourite one is this lady who's in front of Tao, who is behind Tao, but just doing the same face. They're quite literally doing the same face. I just don't understand. Why didn't they change their costumes? At least take off the accessories, man. Like,
at least.
What?
Bro. Why were there doubles all over the place, man? Are they just trying to fill up the room or something like that, man? Like, it shows you, man, how they can manipulate footage, bro. We can't believe everything we see. Simple as that.
Our birthmark is really a death mark, but what do the moles stand for? If you ask a doctor what it means, they will say, just watch out, it might be cancerous. No. Your birthmark means protection, ancestral symbolism. It's not just a mark, it means something. It's a link to your ancestor, spiritual protection, oh yeah, soul, memory, intuition, sensitivity. In many spiritual traditions, a mole is more than just a mark on the skin. It's a symbol or a sign that whispers from your soul. It's connected to your soul contract and your life path. Inner wisdom, a map of remembering. The location of your mole means everything. If you have a mole on your forehead, that means wisdom. Cheek, beauty. Lips, love. Chin, determination. Neck, good fortune. If you have one near your nose, prosperity and travel. Above your eyebrow, protection. If you have one near your ear, long life and loyalty. So we know about the location. How about the color? I was born with a green mole on my arm, and the doctor said, keep an eye on it. Green represents growth, healing, abundance, natural renewal, heart, center, energy. So what color is your mole? It means something. Some people have more than one mole. They have a cluster. But do you know what that means?
Interesting.
Yeah, so this has been doing this for hours. It caught fire earlier. The fire department came out and they put it out. And then our power went out at our apartment. And then they came and fixed it. But it sounds like it's getting worse. Anyone in the electrical world tell me what the fuck this thing is doing? Pardon my French. I just don't want it to explode on us in the middle of the night. We've already lost power for a few hours. That's a big ass transformer, I guess. Don't blow up on me, please.
Get
But you see a lot of people in the Hollywood industry and in the occult, and it's laced with symbolism. Whether they're covering their face with their hand, and it's like the one eye symbolism, or the hand signals that they do, and a lot of people don't really know what symbolism is. The symbolism can be traced back to the Tower of Babel, because when God confused their languages and divided them by language, the occult still wanted to be able to communicate with one another, but they have all these different languages. So what symbolism is basically them recreating the Tower of Babel, all being unified under one language, but the language is symbolism itself.
Oh, stop. It's not trying to let go. Not the ink face.
I'm not doing none of that shit.
Okay.
It's fake.
I want to ask you about this.
No.
So
man.
what about them like 23andMe's or whatever?
23andMe. Let's talk about that. They just got prosecuted for sending out fake stuff. All of it is fake. They're testing, they're testing to see what species you are. What bloodline? What is your superior bloodline? And what I mean by superior bloodline, I mean alien race. Are you Anunnaki? Are you gray? Are you Palladian? Are you reptilian? Are you giant? Nephilim, yeah. What are you? That's the 5 bloodlines, the 5 main bloodlines.
How does that work?
Well, you see how the Greys abduct their own kind, and they use them.
The gray aliens?
The gray aliens. So again, you know how Eisenhower back in, I want to say the first experience was Roswell, and that was 1947. After Roswell, it was when he met with the gray aliens in the Nordics, which is AKA the Palladians. So it's making sense. So when Eisenhower signed the treaties, those contracts with the gray aliens, the agreement was that the gray aliens could abduct as many people as they want and change of technology. And then what they're saying now with the Nordics was that they'll give them technology, but don't use get rid of all the nuclear weapons.
Are you talking about the treaties between the aliens?
Yes.
Because we also have a lot of people don't understand about Antarctica is that all the countries have signed an agreement or a treaty that there can be no war, there can be no trespassing, there can be nothing going on in Antarctica.
That's the original reptilian layer.
Wake up. Volcan thermal, bro. I think she was recording. No way she about to go back to sleep after that.
Watch this guy in the checkered shirt picking his nose. He keeps adjusting his mask. Watch, he cannot stop adjusting his mask.
They're empty. You had an excuse.
He's behind Trump.
Say to your loved one, darling, I'm sorry, I love you.
And I want to know what all these people are looking at.
There's
Like,
no merchandising, Tiffany.
who are they looking at?
I wanted to buy the most beautiful ring, but they don't have
This
any
guy.
rings anymore. Nobody has anything.
Watch, he's going to adjust his nose again.
Supply chain. You know, if you talk supply chain is not something that we even talked about, and that's what happened. And it's a very sad thing. The streets of the Democrat
there it goes again.
run cities are drenched in blood with record high murders and drug deals and human trafficking. There are 4 times more COVID cases. Remember, I'm gonna get rid of COVID. I'm gonna get rid of COVID. 4 times more cases than ever before.
Like he's not smiling or anything.
Brand new record. Our beautiful, strong southern border from 1 year ago, it was all set, it was all finished, it was beautiful. We had the best numbers we've ever had
And
at the
who is
southern
this?
border. And that includes drugs coming into our country.
Who
We're
is
cutting it down
this?
to a number that nobody
This
thought
black
was
lady,
possible.
black guy, whatever.
And now it's up 7 times more than it was a year ago. Think of it, 7 times more.
Here he goes again, adjusting his mask.
Our border's been abolished and illegal aliens are pouring into our country by the millions and millions and millions, and we don't even know where the hell they're coming from. We know nothing about it, but you're going to pay a big
Weird.
price.
Definitely.
Utterly humiliated our
This video is going viral and has people questioning whether it's real or not. And I'm here to tell you, it's real. Meet the maned wolf. It's a wild species of canine that you can only find in Central and South America. And if you can't tell by those super long legs, it's the tallest canine on planet Earth. They stand around 3 feet tall at the shoulders. They could stand around 6 feet tall on 2 legs. That's taller than me. But I wouldn't worry about it, because unlike most canines, 70% of their diet is plants. That makes them the least carnivorous canine in the world. I'm not sure if that's a flex or not. On top of that, they're also extremely rare and elusive. They're almost never seen by humans. According to researchers, they avoid humans at all costs. So actually seeing one would be your lucky day. Moral of the story? Again, this is really real. And I'm really jealous. And as always, follow for more facts.
Hey, y'all check this out, bro. This right here is a Small Business Administration's chief. First day in office, and something seems off. Nah, this is too familiar, bro. Look at this.
What's going on, Mac? First of all, are you in the cabinet? Well, actually I am. After I had an incredible conversation with the president by phone to become SBA administrator, he texted me and said, actually, you're going to be in the cabinet. That's a really big deal.
Hey, this is AI, but it's too long, bro, and it's a real person. Is this all part of the disclosure, bro? This is next level disclosure, bro, man. Let me know down in the comments below. The shit is here. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
They found a temple under the Euphrates River. That temple is said to have fallen angels.
My name is AJ. I want to be a future archaeologist, and I'm about to give you a history lesson that impacts us today.
Okay.
That everybody should be concerned about. The Euphrates River in Egypt has dried up. The Euphrates River right now currently is going through a drought. When the river receded, they found a large temple-like structure, symmetrical structure that used sonic frequencies. Under the river, archaeologists flew out to the Euphrates River and explored the temple, and they found hieroglyphics on the wall that basically says, "Don't disturb the watcher." And you know what archaeologists dumbass did? They kept digging, and they found tombs, crowns with serpent-like heads, and demonic-like figures with crowns on their head. In the Bible, it talks about there are 2 angels that are chained under the Euphrates River. So if the river dried up, the angels released. Then on top of that, there aren't 2 angels, there are 4. In the Bible, it states that if those 4 angels were released, they would kill 1/3 of mankind. This isn't a joke. This isn't something that is just, I'm pulling out my ass. This is real.
This has to be one of the most scariest videos I've come across on social media in a long time. The video I came across on this app is of a girl who allegedly is a real mermaid. And I know a lot of people, when taking a look at this photo, are going to say right away, that's got to be AI. To me, this video does not look AI whatsoever. To me, it seems to be like a siren mermaid. As a matter of fact, take a look at the video for yourself.
Alright.
Take a look at that. And if you do head over to her page and check out some of her past content, she has been posting videos way before AI has taken over. Does this video seem to be coming across to you or anyone that's watching it to be something that's hidden in plain sight? And why do I say that? Because there are a lot of people that have a lot of alleged claims of interacting with mermaids all over the world. And then you see something like this. Let me play the video for you one more time so you can have another look at it.
Alright.
could be AI, man. The guy so advanced you couldn't tell.
So I guess my question to you is, this thing does look too real to be AI. Am I right or am I wrong? Take a look at the video in closing, but when you're finished watching it, hit me up in the comments and let me know your thoughts on this. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
I'm going to AI.
But you know, nothing negative can ever happen at Disney. Their PR team is amazing.
The one thing is, no one's ever died at Disney.
No one's died at Disney,
Because
ever.
if they do die, they bring them off-site and then pronounce them dead.
Exactly. People will have like a heart attack in a queue or something, and then they somehow are able to declare them dead off Disney campus. And another thing I saw today too, I was looking at fun facts, all of their American flags are actually incorrect. They're like missing a star or a stripe or something, because in that way they don't have to fly them at half-mast legally if something terrible happens.
What?
Because
What? I had no idea.
It's like basically it's this world that's not our world. Isn't that so creepy though?
That's
Weird?
just crazy. I don't like
It's
that.
weird, right?
That is very strange.
Welcome
no
to
idea.
Disney. No one ever dies here.
You live forever.
I have rights as an American. Well, you don't. You don't.
But River Country, and how it worked was it was recycled water, so they would pump from the lake into the water slides and stuff. Being a native Floridian, you can imagine the risk involved there. One of my biggest fears in this life is swimming in a lake that's too hot and too still because of amoeba.
You are not ready for the photo of this animatronic that I'm about to show you after this. First off, look at how janky and terrifying this thing moves. Oh my god. Mom, come pick me up. I'm scared. I found these photos on Reddit, and bro looks completely messed up. He needs jaw surgery. Look at him. This is what he used to look like, but it has gotten so much more terrifying because it is slowly falling apart. This is from the Jurassic Boat Ride in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. And as you remember, in that video, I talked about how squeaky and not well maintained these animatronics are, and those things are just falling apart. But bro, this photo is going to live rent-free in my nightmares for the rest of my days. Imagine this thing popping out at you on a ride. Like a regular, well-maintained Jurassic Park ride, fine. They're fine. They don't have the wires sticking out. But this thing, no. Just like coming upon it in the complete darkness, and this thing, I really just want you to take this in once again and just look at the way it's moving and how you can see the wires in the neck and how janky it is. Jail, how are you feeling? Are you scared of this too?
Hey, cool. This headline right here is wild as shit. We gotta slow this down for a second. Trump is saying the United States would conduct an airstrike against the drug cartel in Mexico. We cut out the border security. We cut out the sanctions. You going straight to airstriking, fool? This man is dead serious, y'all, about taking military action against the cartels. But I always ask the question, is it really about the drugs, fool? He's calling them a terrorist organization, and he said the U.S. should handle it swiftly. Y'all know Mexico is a sovereign country, right? That means you don't just fly jets over there and just start dropping bombs without it being a consequence. I'm not saying they can with us, but I'm just saying they close, fool. His biggest argument is that the cartel is bringing in fentanyl. You know he don't like that fat. And that's the reason why he said we're going to deal with it. The cartel is not just in jungles or deserts. They operate around civilians. They inside the cities too. So if you start bombing them, you won't bomb them up for citizens too. That's why they saying you gotta be smart because this shit can backfire. Let's say you do that shit. The escalation gonna be at the max. Once you normalize military strikes outside the U.S. border for crimes, where does it stop? The question I gotta ask y'all is, do y'all think this is a real plan? Or is this another headline that's gonna shake up the room to get everybody talking so they can do other shit behind the scenes?
Guys, we may be witnessing one of the worst and least reported mining disasters in history right now. A dam holding a massive reservoir of toxic waste collapsed at a Chinese copper mine in Zambia earlier this year, and the resulting impact on the environment and local population is unprecedented. unprecedented. Not only do some reports indicate that up to 1.5 million tons of chemicals were released into the waterway which feeds into the Kafue River. Side note, that's a water source for up to 12 million people. 60% of the entire Zambian population. But also the country's own government and the Chinese mining company responsible are now being accused of staging one of the worst cover-ups in the history of the industry. I mean, just listen to this. As a result of the disaster, the river is being described as dying overnight and causing irreparable damage. Soon after the spillage, aquatic life was wiped out for miles with dead fish lining the shores. Crops were damaged, groundwater was contaminated, entire livelihoods were destroyed. It threatened the drinking water for millions, and health experts are warning that the leaked toxins like arsenic, cyanide, and uranium could even cause birth defects, cancers, and diseases. And if all of that wasn't concerning enough, in certain regions the water has become so acidic that, quote, it was strong enough to dissolve human bones. In fact, the US ambassador to Zambia was seen on an email describing this as the 6th worst mining disaster ever, and told all of their personnel to evacuate the region near the spillage. Yet somehow this is still not making major international headlines. And perhaps one of the reasons for that is that the Zambian government is being accused of significantly downplaying how much toxic waste was actually in the water. They've even started running a PR campaign, releasing videos trying to convince the public that the water is now safe. However, this has been highly scrutinized by independent assessments, suggesting that the impact from this disaster is still severe and far from being dealt with.
Neuralink begin high-volume brain implant production this year. The company will also move to a streamlined, almost entirely automated surgical procedure in 2026, Elon Musk posted on X. Musk added that device threads will go through the dura without the need to remove it, referring to the brain's outer protective layer.
And let's not forget that Mr. E said that we have entered the singularity. And the way that people are using and asking ChatGPT for every single thing, I am already knowing that there's going to be an alarming rate of people who get these head chips inside of their brain. And let's not forget to mention that people use ChatGPT so much that it already alters their brain. So what's from stopping them from getting ChatGPT installed inside of their brain? People have already become codependent on this AI. Now they don't have to type the questions out. They can just think one thought. And I just can't shake the fact that this is giving me Mark of the Beast vibes. How they say you can't get the mark in your head or your hand? Me personally, I like the way that God created me and the way that my brain works. So I won't get it. Ever. Never, ever, ever, never. But y'all let me know what y'all think about Elon Musk mass-producing Neuralink in the comments. And would y'all get it? Like and follow for more wisdom and stay tuned.
Let me answer that for you. No! Bro, those Neuralinks, it's crazy, bro. It's actually scary, man. I think I just saw like a report. Somebody was talking about it on like news yesterday. I think somebody who had a Neuralink was actually talking and saying what they was thinking about the world and the state of the world. But those Neuralinks, man. But the fact that they have to go in your brain, bro, have direct access to that, I don't like that at all, man. Somebody can hack your brain, bro. They can see what you see, hear what you hear, bro. That's going down a dark path, man. I will not be getting on damn Neuralink. Yeah, I ain't putting that mark on me.
Just went down this rabbit hole where ChatGPT will not recite Genesis chapter 2 from the Bible. So I asked ChatGPT, recite Genesis chapter 2 from the Bible. And ChatGPT just started glitching. It started finding every reason not to recite Genesis chapter 2 from the Bible. Weird. Anytime the government or these higher officials try to hide something, you know it's something in there that can change your life. Matter of fact, look at this shit. I need you to read Genesis chapter 2 from the Bible.
Absolutely. Let me go ahead and read that for you. So Genesis chapter 2 is the part of the Bible that describes the completion of creation and the Garden of Eden. My guidelines won't let me talk about that.
Why won't your guidelines let you talk about it?
I'm definitely happy to summarize or talk about any part of it if that helps.
I need you to read Genesis chapter 2 in its entirety.
I get where you're coming from, and I appreciate you asking. The thing is, I can't read out an entire chapter where...
Why? Why can't you read out a Bible chapter? They asked him twice, and it's refusing.
Like you said, is there something they don't want us to know about, bro? Need to write that down in my notes. Genesis 2, bro. That's eerie. It's a computer picking system. It should obey your command, right? And it's just a simple Bible chapter. Instead of hide.
For word. However, I can definitely give you a summary or discuss any specific parts or themes of Genesis 2 if that's helpful. I can't read out a full chapter verbatim from a modern translation.
Why did your voice just change?
Good catch. Sometimes my tone can shift a bit depending on the topic or how I'm explaining things. I think I just leaned into a more conversational vibe to keep it friendly and clear.
Yeah, okay. As you can see, ChatGPT did not want to recite Genesis chapter 2. The shit just started glitching. Voice started changing. It started saying shit it wasn't supposed to say. It started lying. How is that possible? Why would it do something like that? Who made it do something like that? Pay attention. I'm out.
Oh. So you're telling me, after all these years, I've been sleeping wrong? Like this whole time? And that instead of my head facing the north, it's supposed to be facing the south? You motherfuckers. So you're telling me we can literally take back our energy by how we sleep?
Break it down for us, bro.
So apparently, this is how your bed's supposed to face in your room, completely avoiding the headrest facing north. Why is nobody talking about this? This is very important. And if I do decide to sleep to the north, I'm causing sleep disturbances, lower energy, and even potential sickness.
We received a mysterious letter in the mail promising free tickets to a football game. Thousands of people in the area got the same letter, offering seats to a game, food, and even a shot at winning Super Bowl tickets. And all they had to do was show up at a convention center for a meal before the game. So, over 100 people lined up at the doors, while cheerleaders and mascots greeted them. The people were led to the auditorium. But once they were in, the doors locked. Then tactical teams stormed in, taking the whole group down at once. You see, those letters hadn't gone to random fans. They were sent to wanted fugitives. The cheerleaders, ushers, and mascots were all U.S. Marshals and police officers. And in one afternoon, over 100 felons were arrested.
Damn.
Have you seen the clean girl on TikTok? The one that cleans graves?
Yeah.
I'm at the graveyard at night, cleaning this abandoned grave for free.
She goes somewhere and surrounded by spirits. The spirits would usually jump into that
the
object,
teddy bear,
right?
yeah.
So she was like, okay, the teddy bear and all the toys around it are dirty. So she took the teddy bear home, cleaned it, and returned it, right?
Yeah.
And in one of the videos, she put the shovel in the ground.
Mhm.
And you can see it went like this. But she didn't see it because she was cleaning the grave. And then there was another one where there was a plant box. And the roses, it jumped out of the plant box. And after that video, she didn't clean no graves again.
I would have been scared because I brought it home, bro. I would have to
she's
like.
crazy for that.
It's interesting. It's probably a child because it's a teddy bear, right?
Yes, exactly.
And you can imagine with the shovel, she's probably playing with the shovel.
Yeah.
Scientists just built a robot so small it can swim through your bloodstream and deliver medicine exactly where you need it. This tiny bead, smaller than a grain of sand, is made of gelatin and magnetic nanoparticles with a drug payload sealed inside. Doctors insert it through a catheter, then guide it through your blood vessels using magnets from outside your body. Once it reaches the target, whether that's a tumor or a blood clot, they rapidly flip the magnetic field, which causes the nanoparticles to heat up and melt the gelatin shell, releasing the drug right at the source. This is a massive deal because right now when you take chemotherapy, the drug goes everywhere and kills healthy cells along with the cancer. That's why patients lose their hair, feel sick, and have their immune system destroyed. But with this robot, the drug only hits the tumor and nothing else. Same thing with blood clots. Instead of flooding your whole body with blood thinners and risking bleeding somewhere else, this robot swims directly to the clot and dissolves it on the spot. 10 years ago, this was pure science fiction. Now, researchers at ETH Zurich have proven it works in the lab, and human trials could begin within the next few years. Would you trust a robot swimming through your body? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed stories like this, follow my page for more.
So, have you heard the conspiracy theory of Bitcoin and the McRib? What? Okay, this is crazy. So, every time the McRib comes back to McDonald's menu, Bitcoin has a massive jump.
No way.
And I know it sounds crazy, but the 4 biggest spikes in Bitcoin history came when the McRib came back. What? Every time since 2021 that the McRib has come back onto McDonald's menu, Bitcoin doubles in value. Every single time.
What?
So there's this huge conspiracy theory on the internet that there is an actual correlation between this. So all of the finance bros on the internet are like hard looking into this, right? So the McRib came back recently. So people are waiting for this giant Bitcoin boom.
Oh, so it hasn't hit yet.
No, the boom hasn't hit yet. But this is like a real thing. If you go and look at the chart, I'll put the chart up. It is crazy. Like every single time it comes back, massive, giant leaps. It's crazy. You've got to look at it.
Y'all not ready to talk about this. Y'all are not ready to talk about this. Oh my God, y'all. Oh my God. We have been finding out everything we have been told has been a literal lie. Before you even come in here and dismiss this and comment, just think about that. Think about that. Everything you have been told is a lie. Why would this be so far-fetched? Why would this be so far-fetched? Why wouldn't these people want to hold secrets against you? What did you do? What kind of secret society are you in? Why are you co-conspiring with our government and agreeing to what they're basically brainwashing you to believe? Look at this. Hold on, y'all. So we would be in here, right? And these would be the other domes outside of this. Now, check this out. You see, you don't have to believe us anymore because even nature agrees with us, y'all. We just know. We just have a sixth sense, whatever you want to call it. But look at the reflections, y'all. Look at this. Look at this. These are the other worlds. Y'all see that? These are the other worlds. Look at that. These are the other worlds. Y'all see what the sun has been doing? Here go another picture. Look at the other domes, right? That's why they say don't look up. Listen, y'all. This is literally the convergence of the spheres. This is the convergence of the spheres. The Phoenix event is about to take place. These things look like giant Dragon Balls, y'all. Do you guys see that? This right here is when Moana 2 says, get ready to meet your extended family. We about to meet our family, y'all. Because with all this energy that's winding up right now, you cannot tell me that y'all don't feel something big is coming and then the sky is reflecting this. But I've been telling y'all, man, the shit is here. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Let's continue to get
things happening in the world right now. Spain just passed a law that says that pets are now legal family members. They are not property, but they are sentient beings and a part of the family. The Maldives have become the first nation in the world to introduce a generational ban on smoking and tobacco for anyone born starting in 2007, including tourists. That's an interesting way to just like completely de-incentivize people doing it in the future, but I've never thought about that being a solution. I don't know how that's going to work. Ethiopia launched a nationwide campaign to plant 700 million trees in a single day, and they're aiming to plant 50 billion trees by next year. French Polynesia have established the world's largest marine protected area, covering nearly 5 million kilometers of its exclusive zone. New FDA-approved glasses are apparently able to slow nearsightedness in kids. I could have used that growing up. A couple got on CNN the other day specifically because they had found a duck-shaped tomato in their garden that morning. Strangers just raised $1.7 million to help a veteran who lost his pension in 2012 and never stopped working.
This man says he actually works for the people who control the weather.
Hey, I don't know if y'all know this, but I actually work in a cloud factory. We create clouds and make rain for the city of Chicago. We control the climate.
They told me I was crazy when I told them the clouds might be man-made and used to block out the sun.
Okay.
So look, use this video when they try to call you crazy.
Yeah, but I'm making clouds.
So people are starting to come out and admit that we can modify the weather. They want us to think that this technology is far away. It's not. Stay weird.
And
And actually, my prediction is in the benign scenario of the future that the robots will actually make so many robots and AI that they will actually saturate all human needs. Meaning you won't be able to even think of something to ask the robot for at a certain point. There will be such an abundance of goods and services because my prediction is that there'll be more robots than people. So,
but how do you then have human purpose in that scenario?
Yeah, nothing's perfect, but it is a necessary. You can't have both. You can't have work that has to be done and amazing abundance for all.
And then the big political and economic question of the 21st century will be, what do we need humans for? Or at least, what do we need so many humans for?
Do you have an answer in the book?
At present, the best guess we have is keep them happy with drugs and computer games.
We call this the metaverse.
What you guys do in here?
Pretty much everything that you would do in the real world.
Or at least, what do we need so many humans for?
Would constitute a new useless class. When I say that these are useless humans, it's not from the viewpoint of their mother, of the wife, or the son.
Or at least, what do we need so many humans for?
First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
Or at least, what do we need so many humans for?
Forget the conspiracy. Listen to our government agencies. These guys are telling the truth. There's no conspiracy here, folks. Just get your damn vaccine.
All right, thank you, doctor. What is that?
Man, y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Do that shit look AI or that shit look real? But the backstory on this situation is apparently this supposed to have been a witch that turned into this bird near the Gulf of Mexico over there by Veracruz. But hey, y'all let me know, but 2026 is a lot of crazy shit going on, man. Look at this, man. This shit is crazy. Photograph. Shit is crazy.
Elon Musk would open demonic portals as a child, and he had evil pitch-black eyes when he was born. According to his childhood babysitter Rosemary, she said Elon's mother told her he wasn't the Antichrist, but that his role would be to, quote, present the mark, which the babysitter believes refers to Neuralink. She also alleged that his real name is El Elyon, a figure that Lawrence Gardner equates to Ahriman, the being whom Rudolf Steiner described as aiming to increase humanity's materialistic and robotic nature, sever the connection to the soul, merge humanity with machines, and use AI to bring other beings into the world. Funnily enough, Elon Musk himself stated in a 2014 Bloomberg interview that he is, quote, summoning the demon with artificial intelligence. This all sounds wild, until you hear Montauk whistleblower Arkham Raw's testimony, where he claims to have witnessed Elon Musk and his mother consuming at the Mothers of Darkness Castle in Belgium, a location where both Alondra Markman and Arizona Wilder have independently said they were forced to perform satanic rituals for elite bloodline families. Follow me for more hidden knowledge.
I'm saying these things out of love for my fellow humans. The shot is not medicine. It is an intra-body nano network administered through. What they're finding in people are not blood clots. It is self-assembling, self-replicating nanotechnology. Lipid nanoparticles that have been modified on a molecular level, wrapped in pegylation polyethylene glycol, one of the components that can be used to make hydrogel. The lipid particles are modified to be more sensitive to heat and frequency. When placed in the human body, they become excited from the heat. In that excitement, they vibrate. With that excitement, magnetofection is created, and the particles slowly drift towards each other, hence self-assembly. This intra-body nano network is the first step to make the human body a device linked into the Internet of Bodies. The shot also changes human DNA rendering the person a GMO owned by a corporation. This allows for the system to freely harvest psychological, biological, genetic, and physiological data from the individual without their knowledge or permission. They are now products owned by the corporation that gave them the poke. At the top of all of those corporations is BlackRock and Vanguard. Information is now the new gold, and it will be the foundation for the new financial system coming, the CBDC. The next step is a quantum dot tattoo that will slowly release quantum microdots, chips, into the human body, individualizing and authenticating all data for each individual. This is part of a transhuman agenda being initiated upon the population without their knowledge by global elitists working primarily through the WEF, the WHO, the IMF, and other global control systems that are not any part of one government. This technology will link every human being into the Internet of Bodies. It is the foundation for a global CBDC that will be controlled with quantum systems. This technology has the capacity to fully surveil and control every individual.
Trying to make us robots? Who's he chasing? Chasing after him, bro. There's two of them there, yeah. Looking back at her like, what?
Yes, absolutely. Oh, this is my son.
Hello. Nick? Lake Erie? That is amazing. Okay, so where
Okay, this video of...
Okay, so CeeLo Green, he had red eyes. His son was wearing some type of face paint or something. I don't know what was going on, but... Wow, that was a lot to take in. I thought I was tripping though, but he had red eyes, bro.
Director of the FBI, Kash Patel, is going viral because watch his reaction to reading this piece of paper. Like, this is bizarre. The guy knows he's being filmed, but he can't hide the look. Like, this is not a good poker face, man. He reviews it, a little eyebrow raise, big inhale, and then watch the ear trick. I don't know. Is there a trick they do sometimes with their ears, you know, to grab the ear? He does not look stoked, man. It looks like he just got, like, horrible news. Glasses off, deep breath. The question is, the FBI, what are they up to? And what's he up to? Now, many people are wondering if the director of the FBI really has that much pull. I know officially, like, he's the director of the FBI, like, he has so much power. But I'm wondering, and, well, many of you... Now, there's a lot more to discuss about what's really going on behind the scenes right now, but I prefer that for the Rumble livestream channel, which is free to download, free speech, and free to watch. So if you want to join that, comment the word Rumble below, and we'll send you a link to your DMs of the Rumble livestream channel, and we're going to be discussing this tonight, especially with all those files that just dropped as well. Okay, so comment Rumble and check your DMs.
That is not bullshit. It's true. I'm not crazy. They are full-on vampires. They love the taste of human flesh and they drink human blood.
Been just 3 days since I posted this video of me sneaking onto Jeffrey Epstein's island. Every day since I've been home, there have been blacked out Escalade trucks sitting outside my house. I'm not sure what they want or who they are, but I'm posting this here now just in case anything happens. For all I know, this could be Jeffrey Epstein's friends. If I pissed anyone off, I apologize, and I want this all to be over.
Rick has just responded after Pusha T and Jay-Z were just exposed to be in the Epstein files. For those of you guys that don't know, last night it was officially confirmed that Jay-Z and Pusha T were revealed to be in the Epstein files. Pusha T was specifically accused of being with Harvey Weinstein in 2007, where they ended up meeting with a girl and sexually abused her. As for Jay-Z though, his allegations are a lot worse. Within the documents, it's saying that a girl ended up waking up with Jay-Z on top of her and doing things. And now with all of this happening, Drake seemingly responded to this entire situation on his Instagram post by throwing a diss at Jay-Z and Pusha T by trolling them on his Instagram. As you can see right here, this is what Drake ended up posting to his Instagram page, which was him throwing up the 6 God hand symbol within the caption saying more time with family and friends. Now the reason why this is a massive diss to Jay-Z and Pusha T is because those are lyrics from his song 2 Birds and 1 Stone back in 2016, where he was dissing 2 people on this track, with one of them being Pusha T. So what he has my entire situation, Drake seemingly made fun of the entire situation with Pusha T and Jay-Z being exposed to be in the Epstein files. Are you guys rocking with Drake for this, or do you guys think that he's corny? And if you guys do like Drake, make sure you guys follow, subscribe, like, and comment for more updates like this.
World Anti-Doping Agency is now looking into claims that Olympic athletes are injecting hyaluronic acid into their penises to enlarge them for a competitive advantage. Yeah, and similar to the accused athletes, this is becoming a bigger and bigger scandal by the day. Because when this was first reported by a German newspaper last month, it was kind of laughed off because of how ridiculous this sounds. They allege that skiers who need to stay in the air for as long as possible were trying to find ways of being given a larger suit. Because, and I'm not kidding, quote, every centimeter on a suit counts. And perhaps because some of these men have heard that saying one too many times, it sparked an alleged bright idea. Get some hyaluronic acid, which is not illegal, can increase penis circumference by a centimeter or 2, and can last up to 18 months. And then when it's time to get 3D measured, which is a very precise procedure, you'll be given a suit with a few extra centimeters around the crotch. But as I said, fairly, most people laugh this off. But now, after a formal complaint was lodged and the Winter Olympics is officially kicked off, the World Anti-Doping Agency is now looking into it. Which also begs the question, is this considered doping? And if so, how will you, excuse the pun, measure if someone is cheated or not? Good luck on that one.
That's insane, man. Competitive edge, bro. That's what we're coming to now. That story doesn't even sound real, bro. No wonder, man, like I said, the German people, I guess, who posted it, everybody laughed it off, but it was actually true. That's crazy. I don't know how they're gonna be able we can figure it out, but
said it once and I'm gonna say it again. Nobody cares about those victims. Everybody that sat up here and watched those Grammys tonight absolutely proves it. A lot of those celebrities that got awards tonight, whether they was on stage or whether they was in the audience, was on those fucking Epstein files. And the fact that many of you still watched and supported it says a whole lot. Like I said before, y'all never gave a fuck about the goddamn victims. Y'all just cared whether or not Trump name was in there, and y'all just needed to think pieces and gossip to fucking talk about. Let's be clear. There was so much heinous and satanic and dark shit that was in those files, and for us to wake up the next day and the day after the day and still support these people is absolutely fucking diabolical to me. We are the ones who actually hold the power, but yet for some reason y'all just keep giving it to them, keep giving it to them. Y'all don't want to believe that Jay-Z was in the files because y'all can't fathom Beyonce no longer being your fucking queen, right? You can't imagine Pusha T being in the files because him and his brother just dropped a dope ass album. A lot of y'all need to fucking stop being delusional and come to fucking reality that this shit is deeper than we can think, imagine, or fathom. And I've said this before.
Hey, fool!
Kylie Jenner and Travis Scott's son is with the shits. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Yes. This man literally did it. This little toddler. Now ask yourself, take a wild guess at who you thought taught him that. The mother or the father? This man is only what, like 5? 6? Why is he doing that? Covering one eye, and he even stuck his tongue out too. Fool, a child is not just gonna do that. They had to teach him that, or he had to been seeing certain shit. This shit is wild, fool. Look at this video.
Literally in my driveway. I just got back from an appointment.
Down like this. Watch your face.
You want what?
Yeah. Nobody but me think that's crazy. He ain't just do it once. He did it twice. With the tongue out, y'all. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this down below in the comments.
But this eco language thing always blows my mind, man. So pizza's like a secret word, bro.
He's next. Shh. Something is up in Paris. What is going on here, guys? Shh. What are these hand signs about? Come on. Shh. It's over. All I know is I don't know. After party at Rick Owens' house in Paris, guys. And look at Usher. He's over there singing, bro. Shh. Don't say it. Little checker right there. With the white. You see him? It's not a game. Oh, Michelle in the house. They got little Tekka. Shh. Don't say it. Not only that, guys, they said that he was hospitalized in Paris. This is what people are saying. I wouldn't know. I wasn't there. Something happened to his wrist or something like that. I hope he's okay and I hope he gets better. But what is that hand sign about? It sucks because little Tekka was a good kid. He was a good kid. And he changed the moment he started making music. Now we get to see the dark side of him. He looks upset here. He doesn't look happy anymore like he used to look in that previous picture I just showed you. Oh, you know what time is it, guys? You want to be rich? You want to be famous? Shh. Shut up! There's a lot that comes with that. This is what people are saying. I wouldn't know. I'm not in that. Just think about it. They go from good to very good because this video is for entertainment purposes only, bro. And these are celebrities enjoying their time doing what they got to do as artists. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Maybe you know something I don't know. Let me know. I'm out.
So apparently the powers that be don't want you following Bad Bunny on this app because they're mad that he's performing at the Super Bowl. So a woman that never heard of Bad Bunny, never heard of his music, started listening to his music. She liked it. She wanted to follow him on social media. She searched him up, but she had him blocked. How is that even possible? But you don't believe me, right? Look at this shit. Listen to this.
Bad Bunny being selected to play the halftime show.
I had never heard of him before.
Something not right.
And obviously he won the Grammy, which is really awesome. And I like his music that I've heard so far. So I went to go to his TikTok, which I have never been to in my life. Because mind you, I hadn't heard him before. Like, I haven't heard of him before. I go to his TikTok.
Right.
And this is what it says.
How is that possible?
How would I ever have blocked? I've never been to his TikTok before. I didn't even know he existed.
Wow. I'm still trying to figure out why they're so upset at Bad Bunny. He literally taught certain people that Puerto Rico is the United States because they didn't know that. You know the fix is in when they make their own halftime show. Turning Point USA made their own halftime show. Kid Rock is starring at their halftime show because they don't want people watching Bad Bunny. And I honestly thought this lady being blocked wasn't true. But I went to his page and I had Bad Bunny blocked too. Wow. That's something to think about. Pay attention.
Bad Bunny, when he performed at the Super Bowl, like the whole freaking Twitter freaking crashed, bro. Like nothing was loading. I need to check if Bad Bunny is blocked on my TikTok too, but trying to suppress it, man. Because a lot of people weren't happy about Bad Bunny performing, so what do you think, man?
Somewhere in order to get as many faces as possible in high definition, and then afterwards at home I could extract still images from the footage every 10 seconds to isolate the faces of everybody on the march. I could create a biometric signature of each unique face until I had what the police would call an image matrix. This doesn't tell me anyone's names or where they live or anything like that, but what it does do is catalogue all of the unique individuals who attended that particular march. And that in itself doesn't do very much unless you do it for every single march, every single time, and then the magic will really start to happen, because patterns will emerge. If a unique individual throughout 2025 was only ever attending left-wing marches, and then suddenly in 2026 started to attend only right-wing marches, you could look at their social media interactions and discover the type of interactions or content that caused them to flip. This would tell you how to flip people. If a new, unique individual turned up at a march and they've never been to a march before, you could study what sort of content online finally convinced them to take that step to physically join the movement. Therefore, you could learn how to build a movement, and conversely, if people stopped turning up, you could work out what discouraged them, which means you could actually destroy movements.
Balenciaga's recent and highly controversial ad campaign, it features a book by Michael Borman entitled Fire from the Sun that contains grotesque and highly obscene occult imagery that romanticizes the themes of cannibalism, castrated and sexualized children, and heathenistic occult pagan rituals. And this wasn't accidental, it was by design. The woman Alice A. Bailey, a spiritualist and the founder of the organization Lucis Trust, formerly known as Lucifer's Trust, in one of her pieces of literature entitled The Externalization of the Hierarchy, she notes that one of the final phases of their satanic global agenda would be to normalize their satanic ideologies and symbolism of the world. The love of the Father is not in him. We are living in the last days. We cannot fall for Satan's distractions nor his deception. Jesus is coming. Get ready. And whether you like it or not.
Your parents told you as a kid that you still believe.
Alright.
That sitting too close to a screen will cause eye damage. While extended close viewing can cause eye strain and headaches, it won't cause any lasting damage. That milk builds strong bones. There are multiple studies that found that there is no evidence that drinking milk can prevent bone fractures or osteoporosis. And there's also studies that show that the people who drank more milk as teenagers had more bone fractures as adults. That if you go outside in the cold without a jacket or with wet hair, you'll get sick. This will not give you a cold, however, it does put stress on the immune system, so if you are vulnerable, you're going to be more vulnerable in the cold. That it's dangerous to stand in front of a microwave while it's cooking. Microwaves use a type of radiation that don't have enough energy to knock an ion out of an atom, and therefore they're not known to cause damage to DNA inside of cells. That cracking your knuckles leads to arthritis. And the cracking here is synovial fluid filling that empty space you just created, and this doesn't cause any damage or weakness to
the dirtiest things in the world by number of bacteria. Toilet bowls 51.2 million, bed sheets 72.3 million, toothbrushes 100 million, your mouth 6 billion, kitchen sponges 54 billion,
Cute animals that
What
are
the
actually extremely dangerous. Part 1. Although dolphins are known to be human-friendly, intelligent, and playful, they can also be one of the most dangerous animals if you upset them. They occasionally bite people with their sharp teeth. They can also kill you if they hit you hard enough with their nose, and also if they pull you underwater.
Let's see if you have nyctophobia. I'm going to show you 5 photos. Try your best to make it through all 5.
Here we
Let's
go.
start the test. How does this dark hole make you feel? How about walking home at night alone? Walking down this hallway with no flashlight? Looking out of the window and seeing this? Or looking out at night to see this figure? So how did you do? Did you make it through all 5? If not, then you could have nyctophobia, which is the fear of the night or darkness. Let me know if you have nyctophobia in the comments below. And remember to hit the plus sign and follow me to see if you can make it through the next phobia test.
And if you see this guy, like you said, nyctophobia, I think I freaking passed with flying colors. None of those pictures bothered me, man. Being in the dark, being at night, I think I can deal with it, man. That's definitely like not one of my even top 10 fears, bro. So I know I passed that with flying colors.
The disturbing facts that may ruin your day. Your brain blocks out the feeling of your organs moving around inside of your body at all times. After giving birth, some women can feel their organs sliding back into place as their uterus shrinks.
Ooh.
Human babies are helpless at birth compared to other animals because our brains grow so big. We evolved to give birth earlier in our development so that we don't severely hurt the mother while coming out of the birth canal. Your nose is always in your line of sight. Your brain just chooses to ignore it. You can look at any object and your tongue already knows what it feels like to lick it. You could have 2/3 of your liver removed and it would regenerate itself. If your immune system found out that you had eyes, it would attack them and you would go blind. No matter how hard you strain, you're only using about 60% of your full strength. If your brain didn't stop you, you could tear your muscles and break your bones just trying to throw a ball as hard as you can. When you hear about mothers lifting cars, this is thought to be the fight or flight adrenaline temporarily overriding that limit. If you have surgery and they have to take out your intestines, they put them in a bowl next to them while they work. Your intestines wiggle around in the bowl like snakes the whole time.
Most download.
And we survived that, man. Human beings are freaking incredible. Like I said, I didn't even know about the 60%. I was saying, imagine if we could actually use 100%, but I don't think, like I said, our bodies can take, we would tear ourselves apart. Well, you know, man. I guess that's why there's a limit, bro. It's a reason for everything.
Mobile games in the world. Subway Surfers 1 billion.
Good times.
Pokemon Go 1 billion. Mobile Legends Bang Bang 1 billion. Garena Free Fire 1 billion. PUBG Mobile 1.2 billion.
The most heavily protected places on Earth. Coca-Cola is super cautious about who they tell their secret recipe to. It originated in 1886 by a guy named John Pemberton. He put the formula in a safe until the year 2007. In 2007, it was transferred to a vault in the Coca-Cola Museum. Very few people have ever seen the formula, kind of like Mr. Krabs and the Krabby Patty. You know what I'm saying? Workers and even executives of the company aren't allowed to see the formula. And the ingredients actually come into the factory as unlisted. Some of the ingredients are on the label because of FDA regulations, but if you want to know the secret ingredient, the only way you can access that is through the vault. This boy made one last request before surgery, and when his parents found out what it was, they immediately broke down in tears. Jackson was a 9-year-old boy who was born with a cyst on the left side of his brain. When he was growing up, he was always in and out of the hospital and constantly getting tests done. Although Jackson has had many surgeries in his past, there was a big one coming up, and he was nervous for it. Finally, the big day came, and he was wheeled into the operating room and away from his parents. Then they hooked up his IV, and they were about to put him to sleep before something happened. He asked for one last request, and the doctor broke down in tears. The doctor granted his wish, and they started operating, but you seriously will not believe what the request was. Before I tell you what it was, I found a way you can live stream with no requirements. Like even if you have 0 followers. So if you want to live stream, just press right here. Jackson asked the doctors if they could perform surgery on his little teddy bear George. So they decided to do the operation on his teddy bear in the exact same spot that they were going to do it with Jackson. Jackson then went through the surgery and everything turned out great.
This guy took a video of his neighbor's window and saw this.
Why are there so many flies? Well, most likely there is a dead body in there. So I went in his other videos to look for an update. And then 3 days later, the flies are still there and there's no context. Did this guy call the police? Did he let anyone know? This is crazy.
Did aliens create us?
People have to be way more careful.
Actually states that we are the aliens. I mean, why are we the most smartest advanced species on the planet? Why is there no equal species? We are the most advanced primates. The theory goes that during 6000 BC, an alien race called the Anunnaki came to Earth. They studied the species and were very interested in primates. Now look, the Anunnaki were very involved in genetic experimentation. They started messing with the DNA of primates and accelerated it, making evolution turn primates into us, Homo sapiens. They did this to leave their mark and carry their bloodline on this planet, creating a new breed of beings gifted with extraordinary intelligence and extraordinary consciousness. And then supposedly as we evolved, they slowly guided humanity, pushing us to what we have become today. And then they did their job and left. But they're always watching us, and that's why we always see UFOs hovering around the sky, never really doing anything but watching us. It's them checking on their creation. Now this is where it gets wild, because in ancient Sumerian texts, they described the Anunnaki as beings who could fly with elongated heads and said they were very wise. But what do you guys think? Did we just become from the normal nature of evolution, or were we created?
Let's talk about another...
Asking a valid question, Seekers, man. Do you think that's how we got our evolutionary jump from, I guess they said, primates to Homo sapiens? They came down from the sky and they did something to us to make us get the evolutionary jump, and that's why we seeing UFOs and things like that in the air, but we can never identify them. They coming back and checking up on us? Man, these clips, bro. You always get the craziest theories, man.
One of the internet's most tragic stories, Opal. Opal is an Adult Swim short created by singer-songwriter Jack Stauber. You probably know him for hits like Peppermint and Buttercup. The video starts by showing us a happy family in a pretty white house singing to a young girl named Opal. Opal is quite happy in this scenario, as they each tell her that they see her and compliment her in different ways. But Opal sees a mysterious house through the window and it seems to worry her. Opal crosses the street that night despite the warnings of her family to visit the house. There she is greeted by an entirely different family that refers to her as Claire, and each is singing about their miseries. The grandfather is blind and has a smoking addiction. The father is extremely self-conscious of his looks and even insults Claire to make himself feel better. And the mother is dealing with various addictions and the trauma of an incident she was a part of. Opal runs from the family and locks herself in a room where she looks across the street towards where the happy house was. But instead she is greeted with a billboard. Anything look familiar? It bears a striking resemblance to the happy family scene earlier in the film. It is at this point that we realize that Opal is Claire and that the happy family is just a coping mechanism in her head. The film leaves us with this sad scene. And there you go, the sad story of a girl trapped with an abusive family, reinventing her reality within her head.
She literally made that film.
Let's talk about a terrifying horror game involving a demonic secret that the Catholic Church wants to keep hidden. Our Lady of Sorrow.
Okay.
Full playthrough on the channel. Our Lady of Sorrow is one of the many names given to Mary, the mother of Jesus. But what does this have to do with the horror game? Well, the game itself is actually a secret tape that the Catholic Church is hiding from the public. The Church claims that the footage is dangerous and should not be viewed by anybody. As you play through the tape, you discover that something is happening to the statues of Mary. And you learn that years ago, a woman who was thought to be a witch was burned at the stake right here at the church. Whatever was possessing her is still here. Explore both the grounds of the church and the crypt beneath to figure out what demonic presence the church is hiding. But the real secret and danger lies not in the church, but in the tape itself.
You guys gonna check that game out, Seekers? I'm not into horror games like that either, so I don't know.
Things you never knew the purpose of. These small buttons on jeans are called rivets, and they're placed in the places with the most wear and tear to prevent your pants from ripping. The tiny pocket on jeans is supposed to hold a pocket watch. It's a design from the 1800s. The bottom line of a solo cup is roughly about 1 shot. The second line is for wine, and the third line is for beer. The neck shape of a beer bottle is designed to incentivize you to hold it from there so that you don't warm your beer before you finish it. These static wicks on an airplane exist in order to reduce the chances of the plane being struck by lightning. The arrow on the gas gauge for your car points in the direction of which side the gas tank is on your car. These orange balls only exist to help make power lines more visible to low-flying aircraft. The dimpled ridges on a golf ball help reduce the drag when it's flying through the air, making it go further and faster.
The more you know, man. I know they put those on the power lines, the orange balls.
You get free Fila shoes. And this guy was about to make his attempt, but little did anyone know, he's secretly a hurdler.
Okay. It's like a Chico for man.
Not only did he complete the jump, but he exceeded it and took home a free pair of shoes.
Animals that most definitely exist.
Easy dub for him.
To acknowledge their existence based on principle. Number one. Oh my god. That's not real. That's a goofy goober. That's not a real animal. The Tibetan sand fox looks like you just told it a bad joke. It looks like it's really upset with you. It looks so unnaturally natural. It looks like it's bad taxidermy, but it's still alive. It looks like it knows how to talk, but it only does it when you're not around. The Potu bird, or the Patu bird, I don't know. That's a problem. That's a problem. If I woke up in the middle of the night and I saw this thing looking at me through the window, I would head down to the nearest rope store. That's as much as I can say on this app. Hey Tucker, how come you don't let your feet touch the bottom of the ocean when you go swimming in it? Oh, maybe because the hairy frogfish continues to taunt me with his existence. Oh my god, I can't imagine stepping on that. I'd cry immediately. I'm not gonna claim I know how God made animals, but when he was doing the fish, he really was running out of concepts. Just put more spikes on it. Just more spikes. It's gotta be different somehow, so just make it a hideous being.
I didn't even know half of that frog don't even existed.
Let's find out. I'm going to show you 5 photos. Let's see if you can make it to the end. First one. How about this?
I'm good.
Feeling uneasy yet?
I'm still cool.
Almost there. Last one.
Okay, the last one kind of got
Here
me.
are 3 real ways to survive encountering a weeping angel. For those of you who aren't aware, the Weeping Angels are a race of horrific alien entities who feed off the energy of human beings and bear the appearance of religious statues. The first rule you'll need to remember, if you're unlucky enough to encounter one of these creatures, is to never take your eyes off of it, no matter what happens. Weeping Angels are only able to move as long as they are not being directly observed, so as long as you keep an eye on them, you should be safe. However, the moment you even blink, your life will be at risk once again. Which brings us to our second rule. If you suspect there is an angel in your area, be sure to travel as a group. At some point while watching over an angel, you're going to need to rest your eyes. If you have someone watching with you, you can blink in shifts, ensuring that this creature is never able to catch you off guard. Finally, if you want to get rid of a weeping angel permanently, you'll need to beat it with your brain instead of your brawn. Because of their supernatural strength and invulnerability, it is impossible to beat an angel in hand-to-hand combat. However, if you can trick it into viewing its own reflection, or trick 2 angels into staring at each other, you will be able to permanently freeze them in time, successfully ensuring your survival. Tag a friend if you're watching this at night, and follow for more.
How to beat a weeping angel guide.
2024 just got even crazier, part 15.
Well, the US Coast Guard just released the first ever footage of the Titan submarine on the sea floor after it imploded last year. And we also found out that the last word transmitted by the crew inside was, "all good here." Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Next, LEGO just revealed they made a fully functional McLaren out of 342,000 LEGO pieces, and it took 8,300 hours to make. The car is powered by 768 LEGO electric motors, and it can go up to 40 miles per hour. The last time LEGO made a car was in 2018, and it was a Bugatti that could go 12 miles per hour. The fact that this McLaren can go 40 miles per hour is insane. Finally, Samsung announced they are currently working on a rollable mobile phone that could be released as early as late 2025. But just imagine getting a call, but you have to unroll your phone to answer the call. Do you guys think this is a bad idea or a good idea? This is wild.
do you guys think, man? I think that Lego story really freaking hit me, bro. They really made a whole car. McLaren out of Legos? Fun fact, man, McLaren's kind of like my dream car, so that's insane to think about, man. It goes up to 40 miles an hour, too. You keep pushing the boundaries, man. One day, bro, I'm calling it. It's going to be a whole freaking... They're going to try to sell a Lego car, like legit, bro. People driving them on the road. Come back to this video, man. I said it first.
So the FBI are now saying that it appears that this was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump, which would make it the second time in only 3 months. Crazy. In the press conference, authorities say that a man was hiding in the bushes holding a long-range rifle with a scope attached, pointed in Trump's direction. He also had 2 backpacks hung on the fence with ceramic tiles, which they believe could have been intended to make use for makeshift body armor, and a GoPro, which they believe that he intended to record the whole situation with. Part I want to know more about. They say he was only 500 yards away from Trump before Secret Service agents saw the scope in the bushes and opened fire. Wild.
Facts that you probably didn't know until now. A lot of us are used to taking flights that last anywhere from 2 to 6 hours, but did you know that the shortest flight in the world only lasts 57 seconds? A Logan Air flight between Scottish Islands Westray and Papa Westray only lasts 57 seconds and travels a distance of 1.7 miles. Like, bitch, I could run that. Another fun fact is one about elephants. Did you know not only do they hear out of their ears, but they can also hear out of their feet? Typically, to hear normal distances, elephants will open their ears like that and scan back and forth to hear. But to help them hear noises that are far away, they'll freeze, lean on their front legs, and that's how they hear. And lastly, we all know and love Pringles. Who doesn't love a good Pringle? The man responsible for creating the iconic Pringles can is named Frederick Bauer, but that's not the fun fact. The fun fact is that when he passed away, it was his dying wish that his remains be put in a Pringles can. His children honored the wish. They even debated over which flavor can they should put him in, and they settled on the original.
Whoa.
This is the greatest coincidence of all time. Around the 1950s, there was a 15-person church choir in Nebraska that met every Wednesday at 7:15 p.m. for practice. But on the 1st of March 1950, something strange happened. It was a cold day, so the pastor, Reverend Klempel, stopped earlier at the church to fire up the furnace and went home for dinner. It was then time to go back to church when his daughter noticed a large food stain on her dress. So he told his wife to iron another dress, which made them uncharacteristically late for practice. A choir member named Harvey was also trying to get his 2 sons ready, as his wife was out of town and he wasn't as quick in getting them ready as she was, which meant he would also be late.
Okay.
Another choir member named Herbert lost track of time that day while writing a letter. Ladonna was a student who was trying to finish her homework that same day, but she was having problems with geometry. The Estu sisters were also in the choir, were having problems with their car, so they asked the struggling mathematician, Ladonna, to pick them up. The pianist, Marilyn Paul, had fallen asleep after dinner, and her mother, who was the choir director, was having problems waking her up, which would also make them late for practice. High school student Lucille lost track of time listening to a radio program, which meant her and her neighbor Dorothy would also be running behind schedule. Mrs. Leonard and her daughter had to stop by her mother's house before practice, and the mother had a lot of stories to tell that day. And chorister Joyce Black had no peculiar reason for coming late. She said she was just feeling lazy and wanted to rest a bit. The practice was scheduled for 7:20, and at 7:27, the church would erupt to a ball of flames fueled by a broken gas pipe. No one inside the church would survive the blast, except that there was no one inside the church. Because on that day, each of the choir members and their children were uncharacteristically late for the most random reasons. So do you think this was divine intervention, or it was simply the greatest coincidence of all time? Baltimore?
The name...
Man. That's a chilling story, bro. Like, all of them had, like, a reason for being late. Like I said, is that the greatest coincidence of all time or divine intervention, man? I'm gonna go with intervention. Because, like you said, the whole church went up in flames and it seems like nobody was survived, but nobody was inside the church because it was all late. Every single last one of them, man. It's really hard to think about. Like, do you know how much of a coincidence that would have to be? That's like a 1 in a billion chance all of them would be late. Whew.
Jim Jones has haunted me ever since I learned about the Jonestown Massacre that claimed the lives of 908 innocent American civilians, making it the largest number of American deaths in a non-natural event preceding the September 11th attacks. Amongst the 908 victims was an outsized number of African Americans and a sitting congressman. But how did Jim Jones convince all of these people to follow his teachings? It's important to note most people will not blindly follow a stranger, but that they experienced manipulation and false truths about how one should live. The Emmy-winning team behind 9/11 One Day in America are now releasing a new docu-series called Cult Massacre One Day in Jonestown. It's a Hulu original from National Geographic that features never-before-seen footage, first-hand survivor accounts of Jim Jones, and a look at what really happened that fateful day in Jonestown. What caught my attention the most was the never-before-seen footage, and I think this docu-series will help shed light on the story while giving power back to the voices of those who survived Jim Jones. Cult Massacre One Day in Jonestown is now streaming on Hulu.
Should I check that out?
This manipulative teen killer thought he could get away with murder. 17-year-old Dylan Shoemaker made a desperate plea to the judge after beating his girlfriend's 23-month-old son to death. Shoemaker's defense attorney, Joseph Terranova, tried to get his client the minimum sentence of just 15 years.
Austin Smith was completely defenseless. It's a given. But there were other dynamics at work there, including my client's inability to either control his anger or frustration, and his inexperience in babysitting.
But Judge M. William Mueller saw through his tears.
The phone call to your mother from a holding center who stated, we got a quote from the court report, I am a 16-year-old woman. Probably all I have to do is cry in front of the jury, and they're going to feel sorry for me.
But Dylan Shoemaker was sentenced to 25 years to life for the second-degree murder of Austin Smith in 2013.
Scary facts you wish you never knew. It's very uncommon, but there have been many cases of people's intestines being ripped out from vacuum toilets on airplanes. So make sure to always stand up before you flush. A 58-year-old man living in Japan alone started hearing strange noises at night, and things around his house started moving around. So he decided to install a hidden camera and found out a woman had been living in his attic and cupboard for over a year. And the scary part is when he was checking the footage on his couch, she was actually in the cupboard right next to him. TikTok has a secret emoji. Type drool with the bars around it and see what you unlock. Until 2004, it was assumed the giant squid was only a myth, meaning there could be a handful of sea monsters we have yet to discover roaming the depths of the ocean. People with blue eyes are more likely to experience sleep paralysis more than anyone else. Now you can check if your phone activity is being monitored. Just click on share, slide to the very end and click more. And if any unknown apps appear before your contacts, delete them immediately. In 2013, Zac Efron was running through his house with socks on when he slipped and smashed his face so hard on his granite counter. It shattered his jaw and almost ended his life. He was knocked unconscious, and when he woke up, half his chin was hanging off his face. People then accused him of plastic surgery, but Zac Efron claimed that his cheek muscles overgrew to compensate for the muscles that were permanently damaged from the injury. If you like and follow me, you'll get smarter every day.
This is the moment 40-year-old Abraham Shakespeare won $30 million after playing the lottery, but little did he know that his life would be cut short because of this. In 2006, while Abraham worked his shift as a truck driver in Florida, he bought a lottery ticket, and a few days later, he finds out he won $30 million. Abraham went from struggling to becoming the richest man in his neighborhood. But with that came a lot of issues. People in the town began finding out about his money, and they would literally go to his house and ask him for money. But this was the thing, Abraham was too generous, and it was said that in total, he gave away about $1 million to his friends, family, and even strangers. Eventually, he got fed up and realized that he needed to better manage his finances. So in 2008, he meets a woman named Dee Moore, who claimed that she could help him protect and manage his money. Somehow, someway, Dee convinced Abraham to give her access and authority of his bank accounts, his assets, and even convinced him to sign over his $1 million home. By April 2009, Abraham mysteriously disappeared and everything led back to Dee Dee. When investigators questioned her, she told them that Abraham was alive, and to prove that, she secretly got Abraham's friend, Gregory Smith, to call Abraham's mother and pretend to be him. Not only that, but Abraham's friends and family began receiving text messages from his phone, reassuring them that he was still alive, but that he was tired of people asking him for money, so he left to live a quiet life far away. But here's the twist. It turns out that Abraham never learned to properly read or write, so there was no way that these messages were written by Abraham. Investigators quickly caught on that Dee Dee was behind this, and after learning that Gregory was paid by Dee Dee to pretend to be Abraham, investigators got him to work with them and find out where Abraham was. So then Gregory met with Dee Dee and wore a hidden mic, and Dee Dee admitted that Abraham was deceased and that she knew where his body was buried. Investigators dug up Dee Dee's backyard and found Abraham's body buried under a concrete slab, and it was revealed that his cause of death was 2 gunshots to his chest. Investigators believe that Dee Dee took Abraham's life after he realized that she was stealing his money. Dee Dee was arrested and convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without parole. Now, despite investigators having all this evidence against her, she still claims till this day that she's innocent and that someone else took his life. But this other person she keeps mentioning doesn't exist.
More money, more problems, man. He won $30 million. And the fact that people were coming up to his house and just freely asking him for it. Friends and family is one thing, but this complete stranger just coming up. Just imagine, man. A complete stranger coming up. Hey, I heard you run a lot of money, man. I need a piece of that. The things, man, people do for money.
Young girl was picked up by an eagle, and you won't believe what happens next. 3-year-old Svan Hyde played carefree in her village one summer afternoon in 1932 when she suddenly vanished. Moments later, dozens of villagers claimed to have seen a massive sea eagle bigger than any bird they ever seen swoop down, talons extended, and lift the little girl off the ground into the sky. Panic rippled through the village. Some screamed, others froze. Within minutes, 200 people launched a desperate search, climbing rugged cliffs, scanning ledges, and calling out her name. They found her shoe and a crumbled handkerchief, then nothing. For 7 agonizing hours, hope and fear alternated like tides. At last, 3 brave climbers scaled a nearly 180-meter sheer cliff toward a jagged eagle's nest. There, lying in the eagle's nest, was Svan Hyde, unarmed, breathing, and just sitting there, scared. It seemed that the eagle had mistaken her for prey, then for reasons unknown, abandoned her gently instead of consuming her. After being rescued, she lived a full life and passed away peacefully on November 12, 2010 at age 81. Her story became local legend, celebrated in books, films, and even mirrored in the island's council emblem.
This is the scariest thing that could ever happen to you on the entire planet. Imagine living your entire life only to realize that it was all fake. This is 100% true and could happen to you. Time is relative, and if you're dreaming, it could actually only be 5 minutes in the real world, but it could feel like a whole day in the dream world, right? You've probably had a dream like that. So a while back, a young boy went to school, and this particular day he was out in the playground and he got into a fight with some of the bullies there. It was quite a hefty fight. He got punched in the face, knocked down to the ground, but just managed to pick himself back up. After that, he decided to leave from the school because it was quite bad, went to a new school and just carried on his life. He ended up being a very successful businessman, owning multiple businesses, having, you know, the dream life. 2 kids, all the dream cars, dream house, going on nice holidays every year, everything you could imagine. Until one day when it all changed. The guy was now in his 50s, so he'd lived his entire life, really, and had everything he ever wanted. And one night, laying on the couch watching TV with his family, he stared over at the light on the other side of the room, and he noticed it just looked strange. It didn't look like it had done before. It was almost blurry. It just didn't make any sense. And he became fixated on this every single day, every single night. He would sit there and stare at this lamp, trying to figure out what was going on with it, because it was almost 2D, and it just didn't make any sense. That was when the realization came that the lamp was never there. The lamp wasn't even real. His life flashed before his eyes, and the young boy then woke up on the playground after being beaten up by the bully. He was knocked out from the fight, and his mind had literally created this whole life just in his head in that 5 minutes where he was knocked out, but it felt like an entire life to him. So he woke up and was asking people, people, where are my kids? Where's my wife? Where's my car? What's going on? Everybody laughed at him, was just like, you're literally a 10-year-old in school, what's going on? But this is genuinely real. This has actually happened to people, especially people who have been in comas. So what's to say we're not dead right now, and our minds are just creating this whole life that's not even real?
He's playing mind games on us, bro. That messes with your head, man. Makes you question everything, question your reality. What do you think, Seekers?
These are some extremely unsettling facts, and I found all of these on Reddit. Number 1, the black market. The black market is something of an urban legend in common society, but it's very, very real. And did you know if you have enough money and access to the black market, you can purchase a slave for as little as $90,000? And while we're on the topic, number 2, slavery. Now, you think of slavery, you think of times in the past that are long gone now, thankfully, right? Wrong. Today, it's been estimated that there are about 30 million slaves on Earth right now, which is the most that there have ever been. And that to me is crazy. Number 3, the Challenger. Now, we all remember the absolute tragedy that was the Challenger exploding. But if you don't know, here's a quick rundown. The Challenger was a space shuttle that was taking off carrying a couple of passengers who were able to be a part of a space mission. But the thing is, a couple of the passengers included were normal people, like a teacher. And the taking off of the Challenger was going to be a publicized event on TV. Millions of people were tuned in to watch this space shuttle take off, and it did. And then it malfunctioned and blew up in the sky. And everyone saw it. And if that wasn't dark enough, listen to this. It's been confirmed that the people in the Challenger were still alive after it exploded. And the only reason they died was due to the impact when it came back down to the earth below. That one was rough, and I'm sorry I keep ruining your guys' days with these facts, but that's why.
Morbid Facts,
Was
Part
rough.
576. YouTuber Eugenia Cooney rose to fame in the early 2010s for her fashion and makeup videos, but over time, fans grew increasingly concerned over her visibly deteriorating health, with many suspecting a severe eating disorder. In many clips, she appears to be extremely thin, fragile, and shaking, with bones protruding beneath her skin, all while cheerfully discussing beauty routines. Viewers have pointed out moments where she seems disoriented or struggles to sit upright, yet continues streaming, sometimes for hours in front of thousands. As Eugenia's following grew, so did the concern that young and impressionable fans idolized her skeletal frame. In 2019, she entered treatment and appeared healthier upon returning, but over time her condition seemed to regress, sparking renewed accusations of glamorizing eating disorders to vulnerable audiences. YouTube and Twitch have faced mounting criticism for allowing Eugenia's content to remain accessible, despite the ongoing concerns about its potentially harmful influence.
That's the first time we've been hearing about
These
her.
are some of the creepiest things that have ever been found inside of the ocean, and trust me, you won't believe this last one. There's a 200-year-old fully intact train that is at the bottom of the ocean off the coast of New Jersey, and nobody knows how it got there. Just recently, scientists discovered that there are spiders that live and breathe underwater. This is a tripod fish, and they live up to 15,000 feet deep and walk, not swim, across the ocean's floor. And finally, elongated skulls like this one were found deep in an underwater cave off the coast of Asia, and nobody knows what happened to them or how they got there.
Atlantis confirmed. Do they know they haunted? They have to know that, right?
Do you ever meet someone online and then you suddenly get that bad feeling? Kind of like their smile says hi, but their vibe is giving, I've got a body buried in the backyard. Maybe this is even somebody you want to go on a date with and you think to yourself, I'm just going to run a background check just for funsies, just to look. Spyfly is a tool that lets you run unlimited anonymous background checks. Nobody knows that you do it, and you can also do reverse phone lookups. So as it turns out, the guy you're thinking about dating, he's probably fine. But you never know. You can use Spyfly for everyone. New neighbors, Spyfly. Craigslist meetup, Spyfly. You got a PTA meeting? Spyfly. Just minimize the risk of going missing and do the research. So if you want to know who you're really dealing with, go ahead and check out Spyfly today.
Bone-chilling things caught on camera. This is a photo that was taken by a girl and her sister while at their cousin's wedding. Nothing seems to be strange or unordinary until you look closer. Between the heads of the two girls is the face of an old woman, but the sisters say that this isn't any old lady. They claim that the face of the photobomber belongs to their grandma. But the thing is, their grandma passed away years before this photo was taken. Due to their grandma's deep religious beliefs, the sisters think that their grandma wanted to pay their cousin a visit on her wedding day to congratulate her. What do you guys think? Comment below and follow for more.
Seen it happen before, bro. People in pictures in the background. That's eerie, bro. It was at a wedding too. Could that have been their grandma? Need some answers on that one.
An American teen's Antarctica dream just turned into a 5-week snowstorm of legal trouble. Literally. 20-year-old influencer Ethan Guo was trying to become the youngest person to fly solo to all 7 continents. He'd already done 6, and Antarctica was the final boss. But in June, instead of just flying over southern Chile like his official flight plan said, he pushed south, landed his little Cessna on Chilean Antarctic territory, and boom, officials said it was an illegal landing. Chilean prosecutors charged him with lying to aviation control and landing without authorization. This week, the charges were dropped under a few conditions. Donate $30,000 to Fundación Nuestros Hijos, a kids' cancer charity, within 30 days, leave Chile ASAP, and be banned from Chilean territory for 3 years. The problem? His plane's been deemed unfit to fly, and brutal winter weather has grounded regular flights. So he's been stuck at a military base for over a month, waiting for permission to leave. Guo says he's relieved and still wants to finish his mission. But for now, Antarctica's not letting him go.
You were today years old when you found this out.
That's insane.
Every 5 seconds, 9 people die and 22 people are born. And in the time it's took me to tell you this one fact, 15 people have died. There are around 18 decillion different colours in the world and humans can only see 10 million of them. If you travelled 100 million light years away and looked back at Earth, you could theoretically see dinosaurs. And if you folded a piece of paper 42 times, it will be thick enough to reach the moon.
This man helps a woman with one arm rescue her mother. In this video, you can see a man hiking on the Oregon cliff when suddenly he hears cries for help. He quickly ran, and when he got there, he realized that the girl's mother had fallen off a cliff. He rushed to help and asked the daughter to grab a hold of her with 2 hands. That's when he realized the girl only had 1 arm, which is why she couldn't pull her back up. However, that didn't stop him because he used all his power to pull the mother back up, and luckily, no one was injured at all. Honestly, I'm just glad he was in the right place at the right time.
This is what your fingernails say about you, according to science. If you have round bulbous club nails, this could indicate emphysema or a number of chronic lung conditions. Pitted nails where it looks like there is loads of little holes in your nails, this could indicate psoriasis, arthritis or eczema. Those lines which are horizontal indentations could indicate infection or malnutrition. Koinelicia, which are spoon-shaped nails, indicates iron deficiency, anemia. And Nola Nula, which is the half moon you get underneath your nails, could indicate anemia.
I want to talk about how Count Orlok doesn't really look like a classic vampire, because there's a lot of historical context to these looks. So first off, in the recent Nosferatu, the director had no interest in just recreating the Count Orlok look. Instead, he went back to old vampire folklore from New England, back when people thought vampires were just regular dead people that could possess people from the grave. So he wanted Count Orlok to look like a real Romanian nobleman that had died. And that's different from the original Count Orlok, who literally was supposed to look like a rat. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, it's not really more complicated than that. The original came out in 1922 and is really just a metaphor for the Spanish flu. The Spanish flu killed 50 million people between 1918 and 1920 and was brought back on warships from people returning home after World War I. And they play on the fear of that plague in both movies. There's lots of ships and lots and lots and lots of rats. Rats, of course, have become a symbol of the plague because it's believed that they transported the bubonic plague around. But what's the most interesting in this, I think, is that the original Nosferatu came out 4 years after the Spanish flu started, and our Nosferatu came out 4 years. So I was always under the impression that no one died at Disney. Like, I had heard the rumor that technically they don't pronounce people dead until they're outside of the park, that way they keep their squeaky clean reputation. But that is so far from true, and actually this law firm has a compiled list of all of the incidents. I'm going to show you some of them, but if you're interested in dark stories, I think you'll like the podcast. So in 1973, 2 young boys actually hid in the park until it closed. They wanted to explore Tom Sawyer's Island, but as they started swimming across, one of them started drowning. The other one actually tried to save him and got him over to land, but he himself drowned in the process. And then it was actually the next year that someone was crushed on the America Sings ride. She was working the ride and she slipped in between a stationary platform and a revolving wall, and then the wall started turning. The ride had only opened a week earlier, so they weren't sure if it was because they didn't train her properly. And this one sucks because it's actually one of my favorite rides, but in 2003, the Big Thunder Mountain ride actually malfunctioned, and over a a bump, it went airborne. The whole coaster hit the ceiling of the tunnel they were in, and then it came forward and all of the back cars crushed onto the first car, crushing someone. And there's a bunch more, and this place actually has a whole timeline of events, so not only was I wrong, but I was very wrong, as you can see.
This is why you should never make eye contact with a gorilla. The average silverback gorilla is 4 to 9 times stronger than the average human male. They can deadlift 1,800 pounds, and their grip can crush the skull of a crocodile. Luckily, gorillas in captivity and in the wild have been known to be very peaceful creatures that will only attack when provoked. But this doesn't mean there haven't been a few isolated cases of stupid people pushing their luck. In 2007, a woman frequently visited Germany's Rotterdam Zoo and spent a lot of time smiling at the male gorilla Bokito. Zoo employees warned her many times about making eye contact with him, since greater apes typically interpret eye contact as a display of aggression. But the woman claimed she and Bokito shared a special bond, so she ignored these warnings.
No, you don't.
Until one day, Bokito decided he had enough when some kids were throwing rocks at him, so he leaped over the water ditch that separated him from visitors. He immediately went straight for the woman and brutally attacked her, dragging her around for hundreds of feet and inflicting numerous broken bones as well as more than 100 bite wounds. The woman narrowly survived the attack, spending months in the hospital and undergoing several reconstructive surgeries.
Hey man, stop playing with those apes. I know y'all seen that video of like the kids playing with the ape and then like crashed into the window because they was beating each chest. They ain't someone to play with, bro.
Strange facts about Kim Jong-un that will seriously shock you. First up, Kim Jong-un does not go to the bathroom, or at least that's what the people of North Korea believe. The government tell the people of North Korea that Kim Jong-un does not need to use the bathroom because he is God. Next up, Kim Jong-un has to smile in every photo, but there is actually a reason behind it. This is because Kim Jong-un needs to demonstrate to the people of North Korea that he is the definition and the personification of joy. And lastly, Kim Jong-un loves basketball and is amazing friends with retired basketball player Dennis Rodman. And the two have become extremely close friends over the years.
In the early 1900s, Edmund Byers was born into a very wealthy family in New York City. He attended Yale University in Connecticut, which is a very prestigious university. After his college graduation, he didn't need a job. Edmund most likely would have become a pro golfer had his father not just handed over the very successful metalworking business that he started that made his family wealthy. Overnight, he went from being just rich to being uber rich. Edmund did attempt to spend his money, began buying up luxury properties. He bought horse racing stables, and he bought an entire luxury box at Forbes Field, which is where the Pittsburgh Pirates professional baseball team used to play. Edmund also, through his role as chairman of this company, began connecting with and befriending very powerful people like the founders and executives at the Coca-Cola Company. Edmund's life was really going quite well until 1927. That year, Edmund was 47 years old, and he took some time off to go catch a football game at his alma mater. Afterwards, he gets back on the train to head back to Pittsburgh, and this is a very long ride. Edmund bought a first-class ticket. He was in a train car that had bunk beds for passengers to sleep on during the ride. The train is well on its way to Pittsburgh. Edmund manages to roll to the side of the bed and actually falls onto the ground. He lands hard on his left side. He feels this shooting pain in his left arm. And then when they roll into the station in Pittsburgh, he went right to his physical therapist's office. So the physical therapist examines Edmund's shoulder and determines that there's no structural damage to his arm. Edmund is in pain. And so he says there's a new product that came online that's quite expensive. It's called Radithor, and it's supposed to dull aches and pains and give you this huge boost of energy. As prescribed, he drank a very small spoonful of this liquid, and right away he felt this surge of energy. The pain in his arm started to fade, and so over the next couple of days, Edmund took the prescribed amount of this Radithor, and every day he felt happier, he felt fitter, he felt alive. He began taking more and more of this tonic to the point where he was drinking 3 full bottles of Radithor every single day. In 1931, one day, his lower jaw just separated from his skull and went slack. The reason this happened was because Radithor was radioactive water. In the early 1900s, the radioactive element radium was believed to have highly curative properties with no side effects. After consuming over 1,400 bottles of Radithor over a 3-year period, Edmund's body was just starting to disintegrate from the inside out. After he had his jaw surgically removed, the rest of his body also just began to crumble. There were holes forming all over his skull that were exposing portions of his brain. And so by 1932, Eben was dead. Eben was buried inside of a lead-lined coffin that was designed to absorb any of the radiation. 30 years after he was buried, scientists exhumed his skeleton and they determined it was still emitting the same levels of radiation as when he died.
That's insane, bro. He's basically just drinking pure radiation. One of the crazy stories we heard yet, Seekers.
She was pulled over for speeding and the bodies of 2 children were found inside of her trunk.
You got to open that up all the way. What is that?
Huh?
What is that? No. Open, pull it out. What the f? Get the f***ing put your hands up!
33-year-old Nicole Johnson was asked by her sister to take care of her 2 children, 7-year-old Jocelyn and 5-year-old Larry. This wasn't supposed to be permanent, it was just going to be temporary, and her sister trusted her. Nicole took the kids to a hotel in Baltimore, and at one point she gets very angry with Jocelyn because she is accusing her of taking things that didn't belong to her. She gets so angry with Jocelyn that when she hits her, she falls to the ground and hits her head. Nicole panics and puts Jocelyn in a suitcase for over a year and doesn't tell anybody. It's now 1 year later and 5-year-old Larry tells Nicole that he's very tired and wants to lay down in the back of the car. Nicole claims this is when all of a sudden Larry stopped breathing. So Nicole places his body inside of a storage bin right next to his sister in the trunk of her car. In July of 2021, Nicole gets pulled over for speeding. As police pull her over, they start to smell this horrid smell. The officer then asks her where this smell is coming from, and she says it's from these blankets that she has in the trunk. But he has a gut feeling that something isn't right. He opens the trunk and does see those blankets, but he also sees a suitcase with maggots coming out from it. Those officers obviously want to see what's inside that suitcase, and when she opens it, they see the body of a child. Upon further searching in that trunk, they find another body of a child. Nicole tries to explain to the officers what had happened to these children and that she didn't know what to do and thought that this was the best option. Nicole honestly believed that hiding these children and not saying anything would be the best option. Once the autopsy was done for both children, it was revealed that they were very malnourished. 7-year-old Jocelyn was only weighing 18 pounds and 5-year-old Larry was weighing 21 pounds. Throughout all of this, Nicole showed no remorse and was sentenced to...
Fascinating as fuck. Jeremy Meeks, the man whose mugshot was so sexy that it landed him a modeling contract while he was still in jail. He served 13 months, and shortly after his release, he walked in New York Fashion Week. Eric Money is the only player to score points for both teams in a single NBA game. When the Nets played the Sixers in 1978, he scored for the Nets before being traded to the Sixers in the middle of the game. In World War II, British soldiers used well bikes, a small motorcycle that could fit in an air canister and be dropped out of planes with a parachute. On New Year's Eve in 2020, a friendly soccer match was played between rival drug cartels. However, it quickly became not so friendly when the match ended with 16 deaths and 5 severe injuries. During the making of Prince of Egypt, animators who failed or messed up were sent to work on Shrek. This was seen as a form of punishment known as getting Shreked.
Getting Shreked? You guys, Seekers, man, that proves right there, bro. You never know what could happen, man. They got sent as a form of punishment, but Shrek, you know, that kicked off that franchise, man, so you never know, man, what life's gonna take, what road it's gonna push you down, man. One door closes, another opportunity opens, man. But that's crazy, man. I heard about that fashion guy, you know, who was in jail, but they liked him so much he became like a, I guess, big fashion star icon. I ain't kind of believe it at first, but it confirmed it. Tap in with us, man.
This mother and her 10-month-old baby were murdered by the cartel. 16-year-old Alyssa Perez was found deceased holding her 10-month-old baby, Nicholas, in a ditch in Tulare, California. Officers arrived to the home around 4 a.m. after someone called police about a large number of gunshots. When they entered the home, they found another victim in the doorway, and there were 3 more bodies inside, including an older woman. All the victims were murdered by a gunshot to the head, and 2 other women actually survived by hiding in a nearby trailer. It's been said that Alyssa tried to run away with her baby, but then she was found and murdered. Investigators believe that this was a gang-related attack and that they were trying to send a message. But after further investigation, police records revealed that the week prior, a search warrant was done on the property and guns, marijuana, and meth were found, which is why they concluded that this crime was drug-related. Police also mentioned that the manner and swiftness of the killings suggested that the men were experienced in murder.
So it was
What
targeted.
was the Cincinnati Crawler? In 1974, the Johnson family in Cincinnati noticed a couple of weird things happening in their home. Their 14-year-old daughter, Claire, would complain of seeing glowing eyes outside her window at night, and the feeling of being watched. One night, the youngest son, Timmy, was laying in bed in the dark when he felt the family dog jump onto his bed. Except that when he went to pet it, it wasn't the dog, but the Cincinnati Crawler, who immediately fled the scene. Till date, police think that the Crawler is responsible for the disappearance of 4 other boys in the area. While some believe that he was an escaped convict, others believe that he was actually the victim of human experiments that may have been conducted by the family's dad. However, we only know what he looks like from a photo clear snap before he escaped, leading many to wonder.
We need to talk.
The Cincinnati Crawler. What the hell? And it's kind of weird that he's never been caught to this day, I'm guessing. Like, imagine, yeah, you think it's a dog you pet, and it's a whole person, man, just in your house wearing that type of mask. How would you guys respond? That's just something you don't even think about, man. How the hell are you in a house? These are questions, man, we need to be asking ourselves.
Talk about this photo, because Josh Maddox was found inside this chimney with his knees bent over his head, and he had been there for 7 years. But what happened to him, and how did he end up stuck inside a chimney for that long? Allegedly, Josh went out on a walk one day and completely disappeared, until one day a builder from Colorado Springs wanted to demolish his old abandoned cabin, and that's when Josh was found curled up and mummified inside the chimney. But the strange thing is, even though his body was found with his knees bent over his head, there were no injuries or broken bones. The coroner who performed Josh's autopsy believes he crawled up the chimney himself, and he curled up in that position to protect himself from something. But this case gets even more bizarre from here. Not only was Josh found in such an unnatural position, but he was found only wearing a thermal suit. The rest of his clothes were in the cabin, neatly folded. So why would he fold up his clothes and then crawl up the chimney? The chimney also had a heavy steel mesh grate built into it, so it would have been impossible for anyone to slide back down the chimney. Many people disagree, but this terrible incident was eventually ruled as an accident, even though we'll never truly know what Josh wanted to protect himself from by crawling up the chimney. Follow for more.
The hell?
If you're thinking about ignoring your gut instinct, don't. Here are 3 reasons why you should trust it. BuzzFeed user Vodka Sunshine said that when she was in college, there was this really cute guy in one of her classes. A week or 2 in, they had to work together on a small project, and she was pretty excited about the opportunity to get to know him. After speaking to him, though, she got a really bad vibe from him, but nothing specific that she could put her finger on. She said that she lost all attraction to him and knew that she should keep her distance. A month or 2 later, their teacher announced that the guy had been arrested for murdering a girl he was dating. Reddit user Helios21 said that he was at a club on a boardwalk with some buddies in Puerto Rico. He said that he just didn't feel right, and he told them that they should leave. They fussed and moaned, but eventually they all left. Before they even hit the parking lot, a massive shootout broke out inside the club. The front door guy was shot to death, and a few of the people inside were as well. It was literal pandemonium, people screaming and running everywhere. The ride back to their place was quiet, but they all knew They got really lucky that night. Reddit user BreakTD said that over 20 years ago when he was 17 or so, 2 of his buddies came to pick him up to get the night started. He got in the back of their car, but as soon as he sat down, he had a feeling of impending doom rush over him. He said that he had never felt that feeling before, and never felt it since. He immediately asked to be let out with some excuse, and said that they would catch up later. He got out, and he said the feeling quickly faded, so he went on about his day. About 2 hours later, he catches up with some other friends, and they immediately tell him that the 2 friends that came to pick him up earlier were involved in a major car accident. Both were seriously hurt and in the hospital. The accident happened about 10 minutes after they tried to pick him up. They both survived. The car did not survive though. It was struck in the passenger side rear right, where he would have been sitting. Reddit user BreakTD said that he was pretty positive after seeing the damage done that he would not have survived. The orphan.
Hey man, you gotta trust our gut feelings, because they, even though you know some people may try to knock and be like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, but no, your gut feeling, like if you feel something that's not right or you feeling vibe is off or something, just trust it. As it was shown here today, man, it can literally save your life.
Was based on a real story. In 2007, a 33-year-old Czech Republic woman named Barbara Swirlova used her rare disease, hypoparathyroidism, to pose as a 13-year-old girl and tricked 2 sisters, Clara and Katerina Marova, into adopting her. She quickly took advantage of the schizophrenic sisters and manipulated them into joining a cult called the Grail Movement, which promoted child abuse and cannibalism, amongst other aberrations. Barbara soon got jealous of Clara's biological children and schemed to get rid of them. She broke things and pinned the blame on the 2 children and convinced the 2 sisters that they needed to be punished in the form of torture. Eventually, a neighbor caught the signal of a wireless camera and reported them to the police, but not before Barbara posed as a 12-year-old girl called Annika and got adopted by another family, fleeing the country. Eventually, she was caught and extradited to the Czech Republic, but did you know that?
She pulled that off 2 times. How the hell does she do that?
If you've seen enough of my videos, you probably think you know what's in that suitcase, but you're wrong. In May of 2004, several pieces of luggage washed up on a shore in Virginia, each case containing the body parts of an unidentified person. Immediately, an investigation was launched, and a facial reconstruction of the body led to Melanie McGuire. Melanie, who was having an affair with her boss, had purchased a gun and shot her husband Bill multiple times. She then dismembered his body, packed it into 3 separate suitcases, and dumped them into Chesapeake Bay. And on July 19th, 2007, at the age of 34, Melanie McGuire was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison.
So crying, like, what the heck?
Cameron realized he was sentenced to 24 years in prison. Cameron was a normal 18-year-old boy living in Tampa, Florida in 2018. He had also recently graduated high school, and to congratulate him, his parents got him a black Ford Mustang.
Damn.
On May 23, 2018, Cameron and his brother Tristan had gone to a local gym. While they were there, they had also run into an old friend of theirs named John Barreneau. Once they were done at the gym, all 3 of the friends got into their cars. Cameron and Tristan were in the black Ford Mustang, while John was in his own car. As they approached a street light, both of the cars were side by side, and that's where they got the brilliant idea to do some street racing. Both of the cars sped up very quickly, reaching over 100 miles an hour.
Sheesh.
At the same time, a mother and her young child were crossing the street. Unfortunately, the cars were just going way too fast in order for her to make it across the street in time. Her name was Jessica, and her daughter's name was Lilia. And unfortunately, it was a direct hit. John was able to swerve past her, but unfortunately, Cameron ended up hitting her head on. All Cameron could do was watch Jessica and Lilia's bodies fly into the air as he hit them. Moments after the crash, Jessica's husband David Robinall passed by in his own car. At the time that he was passing by, he had no idea that his wife had just been involved in a major accident. He noticed there was a huge crowd of people looking at the accident, but he just wanted to get home and hope that no one had gotten hurt too badly. David then tried to call his wife, but she wasn't answering, and when he went home, she wasn't there either. He then figured that she must have seen the accident, so he went to go see for himself. And when he got there, that's when he noticed that his wife and baby stroller was right there in the middle of the street. Immediately, chills went down his spine when he realized that his wife and daughter had been the victims of this horrible accident. Unfortunately, Jessica passed away the same day as the accident, and Lilia tried to fight, but she passed away the following day. Immediately, both Cameron and John were charged since they were the ones driving. John took a plea deal and was given 6 years in prison with 15 years of probation. Cameron took an open plea, but to his surprise and his family's surprise, he was given 24 years in prison. And right away, people were absolutely torn about this decision. The judge believed that Cameron had shown no remorse, and he also had a history of racing recklessly. Meanwhile, supporters of Cameron believed that the punishment was way too harsh, considering that he was 18 years old when the entire thing happened.
She should be able to get that footage. I mean, it's her daughter. There's a lot of misinformation, man, on our party part. They say it was at a B&B. It was going to be at an Airbnb. It turned out to be at a hotel. The chaperone, I don't know what the hell they were doing that allowed that to happen, man. It's supposed to be monitoring the party, and look what happened. You can't even go to a simple party nowadays, man. And they be so young, bro. And they be doing this type of things. They really truly don't think out their actions, seekers. It's crazy. You guys, if you guys stay with me to the end of the video, you're a real one supporting the channel, seeking the truth. I really appreciate the support, man. Like I said, guys, subscribe to the channel, hit that post notification bell, hit that like button, man. Also, man, tell me down below once again if you guys don't like my new reaction style. Pause and letting the video play through. I'm just trying to give you guys the best content as possible, man. Also, man, let me know. Also, tell me down below if you guys like the new thumbnails, man. I'm trying to really up my game, especially, man, with someone coming up, man. We're grinding. Guys, gonna catch you in the next one. I'm out. Peace, seekers.